May matinding panawagan mula sa Nagkaisa Labor Coalition, ang pinakamalaking labor group sa bansa. Sila ay humihiling na agad magbitiw si Executive Secretary Ralph Recto. Bakit kaya? Yan ang aalamin natin sa videong ito. Pero bago tayo magsimula, syempre, palike muna sa video na to. At kung hindi pa kayo nakasubscribe, huwag mahiyang pindutin ang subscribe button at yung notification bell para lagi kayong updated sa mga uploads namin. Simulan na natin. At sa videong ito, medyo mainit ang topic tungkol sa pondo ng PhilHealth at ang kontrobersiya sa pamahalaan. May matinding panawagan mula sa Nagkaisa Labor Coalition, ang pinakamalaking labor group sa bansa. Sila ay humihiling na agad magbitiw si Executive Secretary Ralph Recto. At ang sabi pa ng grupo, nasa mapanganib na kamay ang gobyerno hanggat nandyan si Recto. Imagine nyo mga kababayan, ginagamit lang umano ni Recto ang common sense para ipagtanggol ang paglilipat ng bilyon-bilyong pondo. Sabi ng Nagkaisa, ang paliwanag na to ay mapanganib at iresponsable. Para sa kanila, malinaw na walang sapat na kaalaman si Recto sa batas na nagpoprotekta sa social security ng mga ordinaryong manggagawa. Ayon sa grupo, kahit pa may 4 na mahistrado na hindi nakita ang problema, para sa karaniwang manggagawa, malinaw na kahiya-hiya at hindi katanggap-tanggap ang nangyari. At ang nakakalungkot, hindi umano na uunawaan ni Recto ang pundasyon ng Social Security funding. Dagdag pa ng grupo, kahit sino pa ang itinalaga para mamuno sa gabinete, lalo na kung dati ka pang kalihim ng pananalapi, dapat naiintindihan mo ang social insurance. At ayon sa kanila, malinaw na hindi ito nauunawaan ni Recto. At heto ang nakakabigla, noong siya pa ang kalihim ng Department of Finance, nilagdaan niya ang DOF Circular 0030-2024 na nag-utos ng paglilipat ng 89.9 billion pesos na sinasabing excess funds ng PhilHealth. Pero sa huli, 60 billion pesos lang ang naibalik matapos maglabas ng temporary restraining order ng Korte Suprema noong Oktubre 2024 sa natitirang 29.9 billion pesos. At sa pinakahuling desisyon ng Korte Suprema, malinaw na labag sa konstitusyon ng circular at ang mga probisyon ng 2024 GAA na ginamit bilang basehan ng paglilipat ng pondo. Mga kababayan, grabe no? Parang sa pelikula, pero ito ang totoong nangyayari sa gobyerno natin. Ano sa tingin nyo? Tama ba ang panawagan ng Nagkaisa na magbitiw si Recto o may ibang pananaw kayo?
Ralph Recto announced over the weekend a 113 billion peso allocation for PhilHealth in the 2026 budget. This includes the 60 billion pesos of so-called excess funds taken from the state insurer. The Supreme Court has ordered the return of the 60 billion pesos to PhilHealth, but the High Court also ruled then Finance Chief Recto cannot be held liable for the transfer. In a press release, the SC said that 4 justices who submitted their separate opinions noted that Recto acted in good faith in implementing Special Provision 1D of the 2024 General Appropriations Act. The special provision permitted the return of fund balances or excess reserve funds from government-owned or controlled corporations to the National Treasury to fund unprogrammed appropriations under the 2024 General Appropriations Act or GAA. Is the issue finally settled or is it far from over? Independent health reform advocate Dr. Tony Liachon joins us to try to answer these questions and more. Good morning, Dr. Tony.
Good morning, Attorney Karen.
Well, just last Friday, the Supreme Court ruled to be illegal or voided the 60 billion transfer of PhilHealth funds to the Treasury. You call this a moral victory. Why is this more than just a bookkeeping correction? Why do you call it a moral victory?
Because it's a moral victory because it's for the Filipino people. And then 2 administrations prior to President Bongbong Marcos work on the completion or achievement of the universal healthcare goal. It started actually with President Aquino in 2012 when I was appointed as 1 peso consultant for the Department of Health. And with the civil society, that year, the syntax law of 2012 was approved. Na-approve siya basically on the context na pag tinaas mo ang presyo ng sigarilyo, alak, and lately vape and soda, bababa yung burden of illnesses, of lifestyle diseases. Then yung pera na yon, i-earmark mo sa PhilHealth. At ang run rate niyan, reviewing the BIR as well as it's almost 70 billion a year now. And then, number 2, earmark siya for health. Ibig sabihin, based sa syntax law, hindi mo siya pwedeng ibigay kahit kanino. So, definitely, it was a violation of the syntax law of 2012 and a violation of the 2019 Universal Healthcare Law of President Duterte. Now, what happened during the time of President Bongbong Marcos? 1, nawala yung 60 billion, nilipat sa unprogrammed appropriation using a rider provision na I think it was a deliberate move upang sa ganon, yung mga excess funds daw sa GOCC pwede nilang kunin. Right. Now, ang problem dyan na nakita ko, 0 ang budget sa 2025. So, you have 60 billion na nawala, and this year, dapat meron ka. So, 130 billion yun eh. So, ang concern dyan, 113 billion lang yung allotment nila.
For 2026.
For 2026, kulang yan. Kasi,
parang hindi nabawi in the past kung kailan dapat sinole yung 60 billion.
Yes.
In the past year.
Right.
Ngayon pa lang isosole.
Yes.
And they're counting it as a budget na for 2026.
Oo. And I think mali yun. With due respect to the decision, yung sa Korte Suprema, tama yun. Pero sa 2026 kasi budget eh. Pero if you remember, one day before the first mass rally sa protest for the flood control anomaly,
September yon.
September
Back in
20.
September, yes.
I remember that because it was a Saturday. Ang sabi niya, isole. Right away, dapat that week, pinasoli dapat ng Department of Finance with the DBM sa Treasury para papasok siya sa 2025. Because yung budget ng 2024 yun eh.
Oo.
So, quits na tayo pagka ganun, ang ibig ko sabihin. And then you can use that for the programs to expand the benefits and then perhaps reduce mo yung premium. And then yung pwede mo pang gawin is to reduce the out-of-pocket expenses, which is right now more than 50% by this time or 60%.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so, ang problem mo ngayon, ilalagay mo sa 2026. Ang budget ng Congress, ang ask ng PhilHealth 53, may 60 ka. Pero coming ka from a 0 eh. Dapat retroactive yung pagbibigay mo. Or else,
Or dapat isoli muna nila
isoli
yung
muna
60
nila
billion and separate that.
Separate.
Oo.
And then, saka ka maglagay ng budget for that based on the projection, assumption na ina-ask ng PhilHealth. Because you have huge programs right now eh. And in my discussion with President Edwin Mercado, dapat hindi bababa sa 300 billion. Kasi yung lost opportunities ng 60 billion, ang dami mo na save na lives, ang daming program. This year, 0 ang budget mo.
Oo. So they should make the programs more robust for the coming 2026.
Exactly.
So nung sinabi pala yun ni President Bongbong Marcos back in September na isole yung PhilHealth funds, walang nangyari.
Walang nangyari. Kaya nga,
Hindi nasole at
hindi
that time.
nasole. And if you remember, in this program, kausap natin si Vice President Ish Pargas, wala pa silang details on paano isosole eh. But since the PhilHealth is under the executive branch at kinuha mo naman yun, isoli mo na kaagad yun. Para sa ganon, okay na yun. Pero kung isosoli mo sa 2026, taxpayers' money yun eh. So ang dinadagdag mo lang na 53 billion from the PhilHealth na inaas nila, dadagdagan mo 60 billion, lugi ang taong bayan. I call it a double whammy or a double jeopardy. Because you have bigger healthcare needs right now eh. So, ang mangyayari nito, kakapusin ang PhilHealth for the programs nila eh. Kasi coming off from a zero budget eh. So, halos wala
for
ka nagawa.
2025, for this year, and nasa end na tayo ng year, they really worked on a zero budget.
Right.
Hindi na-solve yun.
Hindi
so,
na.
apart from the fact na kinuhaan sila ng 60 billion, na up to now, hindi pa nasusole, December na, yung buong 2025, wala silang budget,
Wala.
PhilHealth.
Ang ginawa nila, yung operating expenses na lang nila. So, sir, actually, they're scraping at the...
Bottom of the barrel.
Oo, yun ang
But
nangyari.
Dr. Tony, you also said na yung 75 billion sin tax that should be devoted for PhilHealth, which was one of the initiatives of back in President Aquino's time pa, ay hindi rin nabibigay sa PhilHealth nitong starting this administration or nitong 2025?
Starting this administration.
So since 2020...
Sinundan ko kasi yung yung trajectory. And during the time, sorry in 2012, we had problems with Secretary Recto, Senador siya noon. Siya ang Ways and Means. The civil society nagalit eh. Kasi ang turing niya 16 billion. Ang gusto namin 60 billion for the taxes. And nagrally kami nun sa Senate. Pinaltan siya that afternoon ni Senator Frank Drilon. And then he voted against the sin tax together with Senator Marcos at that time. It was a very close fight na 10-9 eh. Now, ano nangyari? Na-triple ang budget ng PhilHealth at saka ng DOH. Pero kung titingnan mo ngayon, I think you have that in the graph, paunti ng paunti ang binibigay ng sin tax.
Is that discretionary? Or fixed ba dapat yung percentage na makukuha ng PhilHealth?
No, it has to be, pag na-collect yan, BIR, ibibigay yan. That's why si Justice Caguio sinabi na...
This is the graph you're talking about.
This is the graph.
I know, that's MAIF pala.
Oo. Yung MAIF na yan, kung titingnan natin, guys, nasa 64, yan yung PhilHealth budget. Tapos, kung makikita nyo, pababa ng pababa yung PhilHealth natin. That's the orange one. This is care of Professor Dance. At makikita mo, sa 2025, di tayo binigyan ng budget, zero.
Zero, oo nga. Yeah.
So, I filed sa Supreme Court last February 25. Kasi unconstitutional na hindi mo bigyan ng budget eh. Pero tingnan mo, tumaas yung medically assistance indigent, financially capacitated patient. That is patronage politics eh. Ito yung mga guarantee letters eh. So, ang tumaas ng tumaas yung blue, na dapat lahat yan, tanggalin lahat yan. Kasi pork barrel yan eh. Kasi,
so, let's talk about MAIF IP separately. So, apart from PhilHealth getting less and less budget over the years, based on this graph, pataas naman yung MAIF IP, which is the medical assistance for indigent Filipinos. But, bakit mo tinatawag na bagong pork barrel scam itong MAIF?
Well, kasi discretion yan ng politiko eh. So magbibigay sila ng kanilang pork barrel doon, either DOH or sa public hospital. Tapos doon pupunta yung mga pasyente. Wala ka namang way of trying to liquidate that eh. So, tingnan mo mangyayari, this is sad.
Ito yung, ginagawang comparison in terms of what's the requirements. Pagka MAIF ka, you have to show na...
So, yan, pag MAIF ka, pasyente ka, kawawa ka naman. Pupunta ka sa social service, may personal letter ka pa.
Yung personal letter mo would be your own?
Your own, na
may
nakikiusap
endorsement
ka.
ba dyan coming from a senator or a congressman?
Una muna, ganyan na mangyari. Personal mo na yan, tapos hingi ka ng abstract sa hospital. Tapos yung statement of account na makukuha mo sa ospital, at saka yung ID mo as a Filipino citizen. And then pupunta ka sa politiko. Yung politiko na yan, meron siyang budget para dyan. Tapos, hingi ka ng guarantee letter, punta ka ng DSWD, taka sa ospital. So, dapat, ang universal healthcare, dapat pupunta ka talaga sa
Oo,
ospital.
dala mo lang yung PhilHealth ID mo, tapos diretso ka na sa ospital. Wala kang
Sa
pinapakiusapang
statement of account,
politiko.
ganyan. Kasi yan naman talaga. I saw that in UK, in other countries. Ganyan lang. Pakita mo ID mo, you're a citizen. Diretso na yon. Wala
Or
nang
parang
ganito.
yung mga health insurance sa Pilipinas, pag nagbabayad ka ng sarili mong private health insurer,
Oo.
pagka-accredited yung ospital na pinuntahan mo,
Mo.
diretso ka lang naman
Exactly.
And you just submit some of the requirements sa kailangan, pero wala kang kailangang pakiusapang politiko.
Ngayon, ang statement of account mo kasi, ganito yan eh. Pag, kunyari, bill may 100,000. Ang gagawin mo, titingnan nila yung tinatawag nilang case rate. Mabababa ang case rate eh. And then, senior citizen. Tapos, papakita mo kung may HMO ka pa. Matira doon, we call it out-of-pocket expenses. Tayo, isa sa pinakamataas
Na kailangang bayaran.
na bayaran out-of-pocket. Kaya, karamihan, nangungutang, namamalimos, nagmamakaawa ka. So, nangyayari, pinopromote natin yung mendicant mentality. Hindi naman dapat ganyan. Bigyan natin ng dignidad yung pasyente. So, yun yung nangyayari ngayon. So, the new face of the pork barrel is actually the MAIP. Na dapat i-correct yan dito sa budget na to. May pagkakataon pa kasi...
Saan dinalagay ngayon ang MAIP? Saan siya department dinalagay?
Nilalagay siya sa DOH.
DOH. Okay, so your suggestion is dapat tanggalin na lang completely itong MAIP.
Tanggalin completely, ilipat sa PhilHealth para automatic pagka pumunta ka doon. Kasi yung pasyente na nga may sakit siya pa ang maglalakad noon eh. Ang nangyayari, nadidelay ang discharge kasi pagpunta mo doon, wala yung politiko. Minsan nasa abroad o may meeting. Tapos hindi naman pala ibibigay yung malaking amount, 5 to 10,000 lang. Kasi how would you know kung ibibigay yung full amount? So discretionary at saka arbitrary din yon. So to me, dapat tanggalin yung MAIP na yan, tapos ilagay lahat sa PhilHealth. Para yun lang ang funding agency mo na malinaw para sa Pilipino.
Pero Dr. Tony, kung sakaling matanggal yung MAIP and PhilHealth lang ang matira, paano yung mga nasa tinatawag na informal sector, yung mga walang PhilHealth contributions? So before you answer that question, we'll have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back. Dr. Tony, you're saying that the MAIF IP is a new type of pork barrel.
Yeah.
Pero kung tanggalin naman ito at mag-rely lang tayo sa PhilHealth, paano yung mga nasa informal sector, yung mga, wala silang PhilHealth contribution, saan sila kukuha ng tulong para sa medical coverage?
Okay. So mga nakikinig, mga kababayan, I was PhilHealth Director 2016-2019. So I was Independent Director of PhilHealth, representing the Monetary Board appointed by President Aquino. Kaya I know exactly. Yung syntax funds of 2012, which is 70 billion a year, yan ho for dalawa kasing klase ng contributors eh. Yung contributors sa middle class, yun na kinakaltas sa inyong salary, mga 5% of your salary. Okay? Di ba? Monthly. Yung mahihirap, apat yan eh. Yung tinatawag na indirect contributors. Yung senior citizen, yung may kapansanan, PWD, yung 4Ps, at saka yung indigents na dinidetermine ng DSWD. Yun pong indirect contributors, automatic po yan, earmark yung syntax funds, pupunta po sa inyo. Hindi kayo magbabayad ng premium kasi sagot na ng gobyerno yun. Kayo po na nandito. So yung mahirap, yan na po ang inyong gagamitin. Pag na-confine ka, mahirap ka, na dapat i-honor ng hospital. Kasi yun. Ngayon na nangyayari, dahil zero ang budget mo, wala nang kapangyarihan yung PhilHealth mo. Kaya you drive away the poor. In the hospital, ang karamihan na admit ngayon, middle class and upper class because meron silang HMO. May savings sila. Ang mahirap kung arawan ka, wala. Kaya nga yan ang ginawa yung syntax funds will be able to shoulder their expenses. Kaya pag sinuli ito 60 billion and reinstate the syntax funds, plus the projected assumptions ng PhilHealth na tinataya ng hindi 113. Pampalubag-loob yung 113 eh. Kasi yung 60 billion, sinusoli nyo, 53 billion. Tumataas ang healthcare needs natin. Population, lumalaki, dumadami ang sakit, dumadami ang mahirap, lalo na sa ngayon. So dapat doblehin pa yung 147, yung 113, doblehin pa yun. Kasi may bago silang program yung preventive arm. Mahal kasi yung curative Yung YAKA program ng PhilHealth, yan ang dapat suportahan to prevent patients from being hospitalized.
Ito ba maintenance medicines? Will that cover it? Supplements kaya?
Ang galing. Ang galing nito. Inaral ko to and I'm supporting President Edwin Mercado on this. Libre ang check-up, libre ang laboratory, and 20,000 yung medications for the year. So,
would medications cover supplements?
meron silang list, almost 75 drugs, at meron na silang mga accredited hospitals.
Like ako sa diabetes, kunwari, metformin, yung pang maintenance, para,
kasama siya doon.
Para hindi ka lumala.
No? Yung essential drug list, meron kasi ang DOH, yun ho covered yun, na talagang na-vet na nila yun, na yun ang dapat kailangan. So mga kababayan, kukunti lang. I heard, kukunti pala nakaka-avail nito, parang 7 million. Dapat, ito yung dapat, para sa ganon, ito na yung PhilHealth HMO card. Nating lahat. So over and above your HMO, pwede yan sa middle class and upper class. And then sa mahirap, ito yung gagamitin natin ngayon para hindi kayo nako-confine. Kasi catastrophic illness will actually turn you into a poor. Maghihirap ka kagad.
Napakamahal talaga.
Napakamahal ngayon magpaggamot.
So pag in-implement po itong YAKA program, kaya na po ba makuha ito ng mga Pilipino? So ngayong magkakaroon na ng 113 billion pesos for 2026. Although granted, isusoli lang talaga yung 60 billion na kinuha from PhilHealth.
Kukulangin.
Kaya na ba? Kulang pa yun. So,
kukulangin.
But for now, if you're someone who wants to avail of these benefits, can you go to PhilHealth and now ask for a card na pang-indigent, pang-PWD, senior citizen, for the maintenance medicines?
Yes. Ako kasi, ang ginawa ko, I went to Chinese General Hospital kasi yan yung hospital na and the head niyan, si Dr. George ko, siyang head. Niranto niya ako. Napakaganda ng pagkaka-launch. Kaya ang suggestion ko, the way it should be rolled out, dapat all hospitals, dapat may YAKA program. All LGUs, dapat may YAKA program. All workplace or kumpanya, dapat naka-enroll dito. Kasi, entitled kayo dyan. Ang laking budget kasi nito. Pero, mas malaki ang budget na gagastusin pag na-confine ka. That's why, yun
Dr. Tony, here's a question. Kasi for Filipinos, ang concern pa rin is, pag na-confine ka, mababa pa rin yung makukuha mo from PhilHealth. When can we see a change in the benefits? Kailan bababa yung contributions natin or yung out-of-pocket expenses when you get hospitalized? Makakatulong ba itong recent Supreme Court decision?
Makakatulong kasi isosoli mo. Pero nagsoli ka na dapat sinoli mo itong taon na ito. So yung 2026, narinig ko si Senator Soto, inunahan na namin Pero, sorry nagkamali kami. So dapat sinoli yan sa 2025. So through the Treasury. Tapos, kung gusto mo, dahil the lost opportunity, yung interest yan. So 60 billion plus 53 billion plus the YAKAP, tapos lahat ng benefits, lalo na yung top 10 killer diseases, pataasin lahat ng case rates para across the board, kung 50% ngayon ang out-of-pocket, bababa ng 30%. So dapat you will need a lot of money ngayon. So dapat this is a period of redemption for President Marcos and Secretary Recto.
So you're saying hindi enough, yung 113 billion pesos,
it's a political and a PR campaign lolokohin na naman tayo na nagbibigay silang 113 No?
So how soon can we see changes in the benefits that we're getting as PhilHealth contributors? Pati yung mga indirect contributors na hindi talaga covered.
Sa 2026.
Meron na ba tayo makikita sa 2026?
Will
PhilHealth lower our out-of-pocket expenses pag na-hospitalize?
Definitely. Crucial yung ginawa ng December 5 ng Supreme Court Kasi this week will be the final stages of the budget hearing sa Senate and then BICAM na. And then remember, pipirmahan ng Pangulo to. So yung ask ng 113, doblehin dapat to. Dapat mag-sandbag tayo kasi there will be additional programs na gagawin ng PhilHealth. And then catch-up time sila. Itong pinaka-importante. So, I think, to me, though sinabi ng Supreme Court kay Secretary Recto, hindi siya criminally liable. Pero ako naman, ang comment ko doon ay yung common sense. Mas mahalaga yung fiscal discipline nila over the healthcare of the people eh. And then, together with Secretary Herbosa, tsaka siya, dinefend pa nila yung decision nila. Eh kung bakit nila dinidefend, hindi natin malaman kung mas mahalaga sa kanila yung pera or kalusugan ng mga tao. That's the main problem.
In your opinion, dapat ba may mga managot na officials, either administratively, para dun sa nangyaring pag-transfer ng 60 billion
I think dapat
pesos?
may accountable. Ganun na lang eh. For example, yung kalahati ng cabinet economic managers, wala na si Secretary Bersamin, wala na si Secretary Amena. Here, during the last forefront, ang sabi ko, dapat mag-resign, dapat si Secretary Amena, o nag-resign na. Secretary Bersamin, wala na. Secretary Bonoan.
But si Secretary Recto, who was the finance secretary at the time the transfer was made, na-promote pa to executive secretary. So,
Right.
do you think it's possible to be held liable?
I think so. Kung hindi sinasabi ng Supreme Court na hindi siya criminally liable, at least morally responsible siya. Kasi it's a moral issue eh. Healthcare is a moral issue. Hindi naman porke sinabing legal, it's moral. Magkaiba yun eh.
Mapunta naman tayo lastly, because we only have a few minutes left, yung mga ghost health centers. There were about 300 ghost health centers that were recorded by the DOH, which were supposedly built under the Health Facilities Enhancement Program. And Health Secretary Ted Herbosa said he was invited by the ICI to testify on this. With the current issues on the credibility of the ICI because former Secretary
Babe Singson.
Si Babe Singson of the DPWH before had already resigned. How should the DOH and DPWH resolve this problem? Yung mga ghost health centers.
Ang una nilang gawin, pa-audit nila. And then, ilagay nila yung 600 hospitals na yan at tingnan nila in a traffic light kung sino ang red na binigyan nila ng budget. And then, lagay nila social media. And then, pakita nila sa Pangulo. And then, yung ongoing yellow. Yung green, tapos na. Because universal healthcare is not only about infrastructures. Kaya hindi nagagawa eh. Ang iba, hindi niya pina-follow up ni Secretary Herbosa with the LGU, with the DPWH, with the contractors eh. It's all also about PhilHealth funds available. And ang huli, health human resource. May building ka nga. Wala ka naman doktor, wala ka nurses dahil mababa ang bayad mo. So one of the most important bills na dapat gawin is to increase the salaries of doctors and nurses to prevent yung brain drain. Kasi we're the number one exporter of nurses and doctors in the world. Imagine.
Yeah.
Tapos, dinifund pa ang PhilHealth and then you have ghost hospitals. So the universal healthcare, wala yan. So the previous efforts of President Aquino, President Duterte, warts and all, I would say, nawala with this particular administration.
Okay. Well, last time you were here at the forefront, you called for the resignation of DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman at nangyari naman. Have you ever called for the resignation of DOH Secretary Ted Herbosa?
Well, alam mo, nakakapagod mag-call kasi unang-una, marami siyang kasalanan sa bayan. Unang-una, as chairman of the board, dapat dinefend niya. Nakiside pa siya kay Secretary Recto eh.
Ito yung 60 billion
60
transfer
billion.
at the
Tapos
time
itong ghost hospitals and some concerns na nasa ombudsman. Ako, I'm not calling kay mag-resign siya kasi sabi nga nila, you cannot change horses in midstream. Wala na eh. Ang gawin niya ngayon is to step up and then mag-self-awakening siya, mag-reflect siya. Ang laki ng kasalanan ni Secretary Ted Herbosa sa bayan. Imagine mo, as chairman of the board, inalaw mo na nakawin yung pera. That's insane. That's absurd. That's morally irresponsible. As Secretary of Health, you're the chief health leader of the country and you allow the day of Secretary to actually impose yun. Alam mong mali yun.
Pero bakit palagay nyo hindi po mapalitan si Ted Herbosa even if nagkaroon ng revamp dati?
Well, maybe malakas siya. I don't know. Kanya-kanya yan eh. Discretion ng Pangulo yan eh. Mag-resign ka for two purposes eh. One, at the discretion of the President. Number two, if you think that you are not up to par at hindi ka nag-i-step up, siguro ang ask ko lang kay Secretary Ted Herbosa, show some kind of leadership and grow some courage ng konti for the Filipino people. Hindi nakikita ng marami. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Tony Liachon. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but we always appreciate your insights.